Today, we are going to find out how much Amazon made off New World. Did they lose money, or did Bezos get some more rocket cash for his moon base? I recommend you stay till the end because the answer will surprise you. If you've been following this channel, you probably know that when New World launched, I was like many of you, very passionate about the game. But the game had so many issues, and it seems like the dev team made a lot of decisions that didn't help the game at all. Everything felt like a cheap fix. Bugs and exploits were temporarily fixed, but soon enough this would lead to another bug. It was safe to say that it was far from perfect. And at this point in time, it lies at 35,000 daily peak players on Steam, with many people patiently waiting for it to rise back from its ashes. But this depends strongly on the economical risk behind reinvesting into the game, and that is why the question of New World's economical status is so interesting. And so my search began. But it wasn't easy. New World's sales number or its pre-launch development costs were nowhere officially disclosed, so I had to improvise and make some smart, informed guesses. For me to be able to properly guess the development cost, I first needed to find out how much it costs to make an MMORPG of this size. As we all know, MMORPG pre-launch development costs are high. Generally in between 50 millions to 200 millions. But it's safe to say that New World was most definitely on the more expensive side of things, with the potential of being one of the most expensive MMORPGs in history. The reason why I believe this is because if we believe this article from Bloomberg and Jason Schreider, which has a history of being very accurate, we learned that New World had a yearly budget of $500 million. But it's safe to say that they didn't get to use all that. We are talking about Amazon after all, and they are not known for throwing money out the window. Meaning this yearly budget info doesn't really help us to determine the definitive cost of the game. So let's take a look at other expensive MMORPGs and compare it to New World. For this, I found an article on MMO.com giving a top 10 of the most expensive MMORPGs. Most notable are Elder Scrolls Online at an estimated 200 million dev cost, and Final Fantasy XIV at 120 million. But being that New World is quite graphically heavy and is a modern release with a budget of half a freaking million per year, I think it's safe to double those numbers and put a price tag of an estimated 400 million pre-launch development and advertisement cost. So yeah, it goes without saying that that's quite a hefty price tag. Now please note that this is my rough estimation, and the amount New World actually costs will very probably always stay an Amazon secret. While editing this video, I actually found out that the article on MMO.com got actualized and now features New World. They estimate its cost at 200 million, which I think is too low, considering all things. After seeing my estimated cost of development for New World and the absolute crappy launch the game had, I wouldn't blame you for thinking that Amazon made a loss with New World. But you are forgetting one thing. Amazon is a master in marketing. We can't forget that Amazon owns not only the biggest e-commerce company on earth, but also owns big names in the gaming genre like Twitch. So they had the best cards to advertise the living crap out of New World at an extremely efficient cost, and they applied every trick in the book to get this game in front of every gamer's eyes, and those are quite a lot of eyes. Not only this, but since the game was designed in a way that in the first few hours the flaws of the game were actually easily overlooked, making the honeymoon phase for this game quite brutal. A lot of people bought into it due to this great but deceiving first impression. Anyways, how many copies did New World sell? Again, a difficult and quite controversial question. In my hunt for answers, I stumbled upon a few rumors in the New World forum saying something about 25 million sales. But I could never find the source of that rumor, so I turned to a well-known and quite reliable Steam tracker called Steam Spy. Steam Spy works by going through Steam users and use the publicly available data to make an estimate of how many people own the Steam title. Steam Spy is pretty precise and reliable. It is said that it only has a 10% margin error. The one problem we have is that there is no way to know which of the two available versions of the game was bought by these users, which will increase even more the margin of error. Anyways, Steam Spy estimates New World sales to be in between 50 million to 100 million, which I have to say is absolutely insane. Now we just take the middle of 50 to 100 million, giving 75 million. We multiply this by the cheapest version of the game, which was $39.99, which gives us more or less 3 billion. But with Steam taking their 30% cut, being about 900 million, that leaves Amazon with an approximate revenue of 2.1 billion. Now again, please keep in mind that there are a lot of inaccuracies here. We have only taken the cheapest version of the game into consideration. We have no data on the in-game purchases like skin and so on, and some countries have price adjustments, making the game most of the time cheaper, but in some countries more expensive. So it's fair to say that it's just a very rough estimation, but the actual revenue probably is even higher. But it's enough to answer our question. Was New World an economical success? Well, that's a huge yes. They easily tripled their investment even after taxes. And if you still don't believe me, here's a tweet from Bezos himself calling New World a success. And I'm pretty sure for that man, success means big money. Also, am I the only one that thinks that these two look way too similar? In the end, the question we are left with is, will Amazon continue improving New World and making the game rise again from its ashes? Or will they take the win and let it slowly decay as more and more players leave?